Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we are going to work on a pair of hair sticks using beads from our Thunderhorse Descendant inspiration bundle for June, summer solstice, the 4 elements. So we'll get started on that. Let's turn down and I'll show you what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these really fun metal hair sticks. They look like they have a vine wrapped around them. And we're going to make a strand. Let's put half and half over here on one side and the other side. So this goes to one, this goes to the other. Okay, and then this chain will have to split. But what we're going to do is we're going to string these on to we're going to put a little bead strand like so, with these spacers in between. And then we're going to take some chain and we're going to hang down from the bottom the moon and the sun at 2 varying lengths so that they hang beside each other. So let's get the chain cut. We'll get out some beading wire and some tubes, and we will get started on getting that put together. So I have got out some purple amethyst soft flex beading wire in medium. We'll use that to string that. I have switched the top 2 jump rings to the bronze color so they'll match our stick better, but I left the gold down here. I've also got out a couple of gold crimp tubes, and we will get started on this. So we're just going to pull out, oh, that's way more than enough because all our bead strand is this much. So we'll go about right here. And this is, let's see how long this is. It's probably 4 or 5 inches. It's about 5. So now we could string this directly to the stick, but I'm not going to. We're just going to crimp this baby up with its jump ring here at the top. And you'll get that to whatever size of loop up here at the top you feel comfortable with. And then I use the magical crimpers, so they have a divot in there, so you just put the tube right in the middle of the divot and you squish and you turn it and squish again and continue to squish around in sort of a circular motion until you have it all squished down where it won't squish anymore. In this case, I have to be careful because my jump ring wants to keep getting in the way, which is causing some trouble here. Okay, once you have that done, give it the tug test. Looks like it's going to go fine. So let's see if our beads will go over 2 strands or if I'm going to need to cut it. So we're going to start with this little purpley brown one. They call this coffee colored. It goes over easily. Let's see if our spacers will too. Yep, that one does. Now for our bigger coffee colored one and our bigger spacer. Be funny if the bigger spacer doesn't want to go over when the smaller one did. Looks like it's right there. I'm just going to cut that little tiny bit off because it's irritating this one. So down in here and cut that little piece off. Put our big spacer back on. Then this is a quartz crystal. Isn't that pretty? Big spacer. Our bigger rondelle, small spacer, smaller rondelle. Now that is our bead strand. I know it's not very long, but we're going to dangle these two from it too. So now we'll put on our jump ring and our crimp tube. You could put the chain directly onto here. I'm not going to, obviously, since I haven't done so. We're going to get this extra out. Grab hold of our ring and pull. That will help it pull all the way up. I'm going to make it just a bit tighter. There we go. Now we'll get our crimp pliers in and crimp this one. Put the crimp right in the middle and squish. So now we'll just keep doing our roundabout squishing here. That looks good. And we'll cut our extra wire off. And this is probably about 2 inches I'm cutting off, so as you can see, we probably only needed about 3, maybe 4 inches of wire. So there is our little bead strand. He's going to hook up here. And then you're going to cut some chain. And we're going to do just a small chain for our sun and a slightly larger one for our moon to hang down like so. So let's just get some pieces of chain cut. I'm thinking about this much for the sun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9 links for the sun. I got the heavy duty ones out because this is actually a steel chain. So I said 9 for the 9 for the sun. So we'll get another hunk of 9 out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think is where my thumb is at. So we want this very next one here. Now, a lot of times when I do 2 things, I just give it 2 more links, but I'm thinking that this is a very delicate chain, and 2 links isn't going to give it much, so I'm thinking 4. So I think we'll go 9 and 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep. So cut this one. And then we'll need 13 for the other side as well. I think it's right here. All right, where'd my chain go? Oh dear, I think it flew off. Well, then we'll just cut another one. It's not like we don't have some more right here. There we go. We'll put this aside. Now I just realized that I forgot to get out some tiny jump rings to hook our moon and sun up. So I will go, here they are, my tiny golds. So we need 4 of those. Oops, not that pile. 2 for this side, 2 for this side. And these can go back in the tube. So now it's just construction. Put this baby together. So we get out our pliers, grab one of our little tiny jump rings, open it up, put the moon on the longer piece of chain, and close that baby up. Now we'll put the sun on the smaller piece of chain. And then we'll open the jump ring at the base of our bead hoop or bead strand, and we'll add the chains to it. 1, 2, and close her up. To make sure this is closed because that chain down there is very delicate and we don't want it to pop open. Okay, so now we have those hanging like so. Oops, my sun is wanting to go the opposite direction, which is all right. So they're going to hang like this. Now we're just going to hook this last jump ring to the stick. So we'll open it up, put it on the stick, and close her back up. And there is one of our hair sticks done. Come on, son. So now we just have to do exactly the same thing for the other one. In whichever order you want to do it. You don't have to do it, say, I could hook the sun and the moon onto the chains right now and then set them aside, which I may do just to make sure they don't get my chains lost or my loops lost here, because they are tiny little jump rings. So come on, you. There, now the moon is on its chain. We'll get the sun on its chain, and we'll cut the cut some of the soft flex and get the bead strand going. Okay, now that those are done, we can set them aside until we start putting everything together. So let's get our soft flex cut. Like I say, we don't need very much, only a few inches. I tend to cut more than I need because I like to make sure that I have plenty when I am turning my crimps, putting my crimps on. So I will do our first crimp here with the bronze jump ring. And as you can see, the jump rings will go right over our crimp tubes, so make sure you have it on the right side of your crimp when you go to crimp it, that it hasn't slid and then it'll fall right off, obviously. So let's get this up to where we want it. And we'll crimp this one. Okay, now we'll feed our beads on, starting with our little rondelle. Come on, baby, go on there. You went on there so easy, the other side, did both sides. There we go. Spacer. Larger rondelle. Now, if you'll recall, this is about how much I had last time, and I cut that little nubby off so that it wasn't going to be a problem with anything else. Larger spacer. The beautiful clear quartz. Larger spacer. bigger rondelle, small spacer, small rondelle. Our crimp tube, and then our jump ring. So then we get through here again. Hold your jump ring, pull it up. Now I see that we need a little more pull in here because she's bagged out here. Come here, you. Okay. So we will now get in here and crimp this crimp tube. As you can see, my jump ring is trying to get in my way. So it is giving me a little bit of flack, but not an atrocious lot. So now we're going to trim this extra line off right here. And now we're going to put her together. So of course we want to get our pliers out, open up our jump ring here on the bottom, and we're going to put our moon and our sun on. So now we've got the jump ring open, we're going to put our moon and our sun on here. So here's the moon. Here is the sun. Come on, baby, go on. Did you go on? Yes. So we'll take our, and close this baby up again. Make sure it's good and tight. And then we'll take our bronze jump ring from the top and hook it to our hair stick and close it up. Okay, that didn't come together all the way. I don't know if you can see that. See, there's a little gap. So when that happens, take both your pair of pliers and wiggle it back and forth very gently till you hear it go scrape against the other one. And then make sure it's tight. There we go. So there's our second hair stick. So here we go. Hair stick number 1 and hair stick number 2. And I think those turned out really pretty. I hope you think so too. But there we go. All done. So anyway, this is our these are our hair sticks. They'll go in your hair, one on either side, like so. With our moon and sun dangling down. I think they turned out just beautifully. These are the moon and the sun, and all the beads are from the Thunderhorse Descendant Inspiration Bundle. Summer Solstice, the 4 elements. And the hair sticks and the spacers, of course, are from my stash. The chain actually came out of a bargain bead box, what was left of some chain from the April bargain bead box. So there we go. There's our pretty hair sticks. Aren't those lovely? This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.